Bada boom, Chillers fam in the room. How you doing? Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, and make sure you guys hit that post notification bell so you guys never miss an episode of the Chill Report, because we are live every single weekday talking about the latest going on in sports. Now it's time to get to this video, man. Let's get it. So, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and two-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Vita Vea have officially agreed to a one-year, $30 million contract extension. The deal effectively ends a summer-long contract standoff and trade request by tying the defensive anchor to Tampa Bay through the 2027 NFL season. So the financial breakdown of the contract is now in 2026. Vita Vea will now receive $6 million in his new money immediately for the 2026 season. This raises his 2026 compensation from $18 million to $24 million. His 2027 extension year, he will earn $24 million for that added 2027 season as well. The total effective contract creates an overall 2-year, $48 million layout. Guarantees: the deal includes $30 million in total guarantees. His full 2020 Guarantees: the deal includes $30 million for total guarantees. His full $24 million salary for 2026 is fully secured alongside an additional $6 million guaranteed for 2026. This also for Vita Vea makes him only the sixth player in NFL history to break the $30 million threshold for defensive tackles. The other players are Jalen Carter, Quinnen Williams, Jeffrey Simmons, Chris Jones, Aaron Donald, and now Vita Vea joins that club. Yes, congratulations. Allow me to give a huge shout out to Colin Roberts of Rep 1 Sports, who is Vita Vea's agent. Shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for getting this deal done. Shout out to GM Jason Light for getting this deal done. He said that he received multiple offers for Vita Vea over this whole, hold in time of Vita Vea, because Vita Vea had a training camp hold in. Basically, that's when you come to training camp, but you literally don't do anything. So literally, you're doing what I'm doing right now. You come to training camp and you sit and you look at all the other players practicing. Now you can, obviously you can interact with your teammates and stuff like that, have that connection, be around your teammates, be around the coaches, but you're not doing anything. You're not participating in anything because you don't want to risk getting hurt. You don't want to risk getting injured. So because you're trying to get a new contract. So you don't want to give the team any ammo to be like, oh, see, he's not worth the money. So you don't want to give them any ammo to do that. So you're at training camp, so they can't say you're unprofessional because you're at training camp, but you're not doing anything. You're not participating in anything. You're not doing any drills. Look, the most you're doing is walking up and down the sideline. That's it. That's the most you're doing. So he participated in a hold in, and that is effectively ended as of now because he just signed his new contract extension. And like I said, huge shout out to Jason Light and Colin Roberts of Rep 1 Sports. Huge shout out to Rep 1 Sports as well for getting this deal done. Everyone who played a part in getting this deal done. Shout out to Vita Vea for being worth that money. Shout out to everyone who had a huge part in getting this deal done and played a role in getting this deal done, because I think Vita Vea is definitely worth it. And y'all already know I'm about everybody getting the bag. Y'all already know how I am. I'm about everybody getting the bag. So I feel like it's well deserved for Vita Vea. Like I said, Jason Light said that he received multiple offers for Vita Vea over this time, but he was determined to get a deal done. So he was behind the scenes working, trying to get a deal done, working out the numbers, just trying to, put pen to paper, or better yet, trying to find a deal that would make them put pen to paper as far as getting Vita Vea on an extension. So that's what he was up to. He was up to some things behind the scenes as far as, trying to get some I's dotted and some T's crossed. And he finally got the deal done. 1 year, $30 million, fully guaranteed for Vita Vea. Well deserved, man. Well deserved. And like I said, you guys know about everybody getting the bag. Y'all know that. But this was a well deserved deal. And the thing is, and I fully stand 10 toes down on this still to this day, I don't know what Tampa, as far as from the outside looking in, I don't know what their outlook as far as how the route they're going with their team. I don't know where they're going with it, because at first, okay, the whole Vita Vea thing was going on, and then they were having requested a trade, and then he wanted out. Then he was like, I'm ready to go. But then they signed him to an extension. So, okay, so now he's happy. He's staying put now. But now the question is raised as of now, well, what happens with the other area of concern, which is quarterback, with Baker Mayfield, because they still haven't paid him. And Baker Mayfield has ended all contract negotiations with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because he had a certain guideline put in place to where if they don't strike a deal by this time before training camp started, then there wouldn't be no communication, okay, let's do this deal now. No. Baker Mayfield put in place a strict guideline or strict policy, if you will, or a strict date that, okay, after this date, if we haven't struck a deal yet, then we just won't talk about it till next offseason. So that's Baker Mayfield's train of thought right now. But the other area of concern, which was Vita Vea, they got that done. And like I said, well-deserved deal for Vita Vea as well, man, because if y'all watch him play, the things he does and can do defensively, oh, my God, it's freaking a masterpiece, bro. Like, he is what you would want. And I have said this multiple times watching Vita Vea play. You guys know I'm a Falcons fan. So I have a lot of experience going against Vita Vea as far as him being on the defensive line and him troubling our offense all the time like he does, right? The one thing I say, and I always say this when I watch Tampa play, and it don't even have to be the Falcons, but any team they play, and Vita Vea is out there, he just is that defensive tackle that you just dream to have in the middle of your defensive line. Why? Because he's a person that the offensive line looks at, and you know that it's not going to take just one of you to move him. It's not going to be, just one of y'all is not going to be able to move him. It just ain't going to happen. One of y'all are not going to be able to move him. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to, no matter how you slice the cake, no one person is going to be able to move that. It ain't going to happen. So you're going to have to double him. And everybody knows when you double a person on the defensive line, what happens? Another person is singled up. And that allows all the rest of the defense to eat. And you guys know how the Tampa Bay Bucs play defense. They are a blitz-heavy team. They're unapologetic about it. They blitz a lot. That's how they play. They live by it. They die by it. And I happen to be honest with you guys. I don't mind it. Honestly, me being a Falcons fan, like I said, I have a lot of experience playing against the Tampa Bay Bucs. So I don't mind it. You could say it kind of hurts them at times because sometimes they, I guess you would say, overly blitz. And then that allows, for a lot of deep plays, pause. It allows for a lot of, game-breaking plays. It allows for a lot of touchdowns that they didn't see coming, pause. A lot of situations like that. But once again, like I said, they live by it. They die by it. It's just kind of how you have to be when you're a blitz-heavy team like that. But what Vita Vea allows them to do is he allows them to play that style of football and that style of defense that they like to play. So if they didn't have Vita Vea there, right, and it was just another, no offense, but another random defensive tackle there, right? Not saying that he wouldn't be able to be a solid defensive tackle, but to do what Vita Vea does, you have to demand that double team, and that demanding that double team, just that simple adjustment right there for you having to account for number 50. What that does is that allows them to blitz, because here's the thing. Everybody else is single one-on-one, right? They straight up matched up, single one-on-one, straight mano-a-mano, right? Vita Vea is the only one with two players defending him. Two offensive linemen are watching him and making sure he don't go get the quarterback or he don't stop the run or whatever, right? But here's the thing. With everybody else singled up, Vita Vea has two offensive linemen on him, pause. Now, if you blitz, whoever you send on the blitz, whether it's the linebacker, whether it's the safety, whoever, corner, no matter what, they pretty much have a good chance of being able to run free to the quarterback or to the running back. Like, I'm not saying that they're going to get there every time because that's just not how football works, as we know. Like, it'd be great if every time you sent the blitz, whoever you send on the blitz, they just get there free. That's great. But it normally don't work like that. Normally they get chipped or they don't get there fast enough. That's what normally happens a lot of times. You send the blitz, but as fast as you're going, you can't get there fast enough before the quarterback gets the ball off, pause, or whatever. So, but what it allows to happen is those times where you are able to get the quarterback, those play action passes, those times where the quarterback is still holding the football, you're able to get those sacks. You're able to get those run stuffs. You're able to get those stops in the backfield because Vita Vea allowed that to kind of open up because he has two offensive linemen on him. Everyone else is singled up mano-a-mano. So when you send a linebacker, safety, corner, whoever, like I said, pretty much they're running free, or they might have to get past a little chip block, or they might have to get past a running back or whatever. But the way that Tampa does their blitzes, they might send two, and I mean, this is not rocket science. As great as running back might be, pass protection or blocking, a running back might be amazing at run blocking and pass protection. That's great. But he can't block two people. It's just, and if there's a running back out there that can block two people coming from two different directions, they need to pay him a blank check, wherever he want. Bump the Russian, pay him to be an extra lineman, because if he can do that, he's extremely talented. But let's be real here, it's not rocket science. Even a great pass protection running back cannot block two people coming from different directions. So if you send a safety and a corner, the running back has to pick one. Okay, am I going to go get the safety or am I going to get the corner? So he has to pick one. Whoever he pick, if that quarterback do not get that football off, I'm talking about split second. I'm talking split. If he do not get that football off, I'm talking Tom Brady fast. Like, how Tom Brady would do them quick. Just get the football out. Get the football out. If it is not one of them passes, more than likely, unless whoever went on the blitz and whoever got to the quarterback just completely whiffs on the sack, unless that happens, it's a sack or it's a run stuff every single time. And if it's a run play and you have two people coming, it's stuffed. Like, it's stuffed in the backfield, pause, because you have nobody else blocking. They might throw the fullback in there, or they might throw an extra tight end back there. But once again, if it's a tight end or if it's a fullback, they can't block two people because it's only going to be one in the backfield. So they can't block two people. So when you send one, they're going to have to pick who to block. And whoever they pick, the other one is going to be in a prime position to get the sack or stop the running back. Either one. So either one is a huge positive. And that all spans from number 50 being in the middle of that defensive line, because they're able to do that. If he wasn't there, that just him not being there, take number 50 away. I swear to you guys not. Just take number 50 away from that whole situation I just explained. You take number 50 away and put a random defensive tackle there that still does his job but doesn't demand a double team. Now that blitz is not as foolproof as it is with Vita Vea in the middle. Now, if it's only we can go mano-a-mano straight up across the whole offensive line. Now, y'all send the corner and the safety. Okay, well, a lineman can go out to get the safety and somebody can get the corner. Okay, so now we got we feel better about this situation on offense. But with Vita Vea being there, you have to watch him and put two offensive linemen on him. He created all of that chaos. And Vita Vea is one of those defensive tackles that even though he might not have a lot of sacks, he might not get the sack. He might not get the strip fumble. He might not get the huge sack numbers or whatever. He might not get that. However, other players eating and get their sacks up, right? So this player getting a sack and this player getting a sack and this player and that player getting sacks, and the whole team is racking up the sacks. While Vita Vea don't register those sacks, there is no moral victories in football. But even though he don't get those sacks on his resume, like on his stat sheet, he is the reason, or a reason, put it like that, that those sacks and that chaos is happening, because his attention that he requires, being a force, a unstoppable force in the middle of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive line, the attention that he requires is so much that you cannot leave one offensive lineman on him. It's too much of a risk, because if you leave one offensive lineman on him, I'm going to just go ahead and let you know now, it's a great chance that whoever you have blocking him is going to end up in the court. It's going to end up right in the quarterback's pocket. Right here. The quarterback going to be trying to throw the ball, and the offensive lineman going to be right here, because Vita Vea is just that strong. He can push the offensive lineman back to the quarterback. It'll be one of those things like you see in college all the time when like a defensive player is on the center, he pushed the center all the way back into the quarterback. I ain't even have to go get the quarterback. I just pushed you into him. There, easy sack. And you have to go get him. So it'll be a situation like that if you leave Vita Vea one-on-one. So, like, the things that he brings to that Tampa Bay Bucs defense, no player is irreplaceable, but his impact as far as what he brings to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you can pretty much call that irreplaceable. Honestly, for what he brings in their system, the way they play football, the way they play defense, in that system, you can call him and what he brings irreplaceable in that system. And I feel like the Bucs defense would have been severely lost, and I mean that respectfully, but severely lost without number 50 in the middle of that defense. So that is a great, great, great decision that they decided, you know what, put whatever differences y'all had beside, regardless of the fact he requested a trade and all that, pay that man his money and make sure he don't get out of Tampa. Smart move. Now, as far as what Vita Vea has been able to accomplish over his career, just to give you guys a little idea, let's talk about what he did just last season. 17 games played, very reliable, so that's a bonus. 34 combined tackles, 4.5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 51 total pressures, 2 passes defended. Over his career, he's a Super Bowl champion, 2-time Pro Bowler, a Buccaneers franchise leader. He enters 2026 ranked 8th in franchise history with sacks with 35. Elite nose tackle production. Since 2019, he leads all NFL nose tackles in total sacks with 32. Over his career, we ain't done yet. Okay, so stay with me now. Over his 8-year career, he's played 112 total games. In those 112 total games, he has 256 total tackles, 48 tackles for loss, once again, 35 sacks, 79 quarterback hits, 3 forced fumbles, 9 passes defended, and also has caught an offensive touchdown in his career as well. So, just to go on record, Vita Vea has done a lot over his career. So, when I say he was going to be one of those irreplaceable forces, it's not just, because he's, a star on the team. No, when I say Vita Vea has put in work, he's put in work. And you can argue, just based off the fact that he's not talked about as much as, some of the other defensive tackles in the NFL, like I guess you would consider the other star defensive tackles, you might say that Vita Vea is slightly underrated. But as far as what he's done, Vita Vea has put in some work. He be hustling. So, Vita Vea, man, congratulations on this deal. Congratulations on everyone who made this deal come true. You got your money, man. Well deserved. Honestly, you deserved it, man. Honestly, every single cent, every single penny of this deal, you earned it. And it's going to be real interesting to see where the team goes from here, because, like I said, the question now is Baker Mayfield, because you bought Vita Vea back, and rightfully so, because he's done so much with this organization since his career started. So that's understandable. You want to keep, one of the longest tenured Bucs on the team, and he's a very elite player as far as production-wise for the team. So understandably to keep him on the team, right? Understandably so. He's earned that, right? But with Baker Mayfield, you could say he's earned that too. Go back in the video that we talked about Baker Mayfield. He's done nothing but ball out in his time as a Tampa Bay Buc, and for whatever reason, the deal couldn't get hammered out with him. And at least from the way I'm looking at it, Baker Mayfield has made his has made the pathway to his deal very simple. He laid them out the numbers that he wants. He wants to talk, he wants, in the fives, which is like, 50 million. He wants, somewhere in the fives. They're trying to do somewhere in the fours, and Baker Mayfield is like, it ain't happening. I want somewhere in the fives. And with what Baker Mayfield has been asked to do, with what the organization asked him to do when Tom Brady, left this organization and retired, he has not only done it, but done it in his own Baker Mayfield, I woke up feeling dangerous kind of way. So I feel like that, much like Vita Vea earned his contract, Baker Mayfield earned his contract. I really do. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But huge shout out to Vita Vea for getting his money, man. Well deserved, man. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this contract in the comments below. Did y'all think it was a right deal? Did y'all think it was a little overpay? If you do, why and why not? I think it's a great deal. So y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments below. And I'll holler at you guys next time, man. Your boy Chill is out, man. Peace.